Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Crowd Share podcast. And so today we're doing our NFL picks. I was going to do this last night, but I, I had to do. If you got, I did all the bowl game stuff yesterday, and yeah, that took forever. So I had to push back the NFL picks to today. Um, Now this is obviously the first time that we've been doing NFL picks in a while. So we have missed a lot, but we are back again, and now we start. We are going to week 15, and we start with the Thursday night game. As of right now, I do have Sam's picks, so I will put his in as I go along. If I get Serbenski's while I'm waiting, I'll put those in as well. But first game we have, I'm also being a little bit quieter because my dad is on a call downstairs. Uh, we have first Thursday night game. We have the LA Chargers on the road, on the road against the Vegas Raiders. Um, this is not a good situation for the Chargers. They just lost Justin Herbert for the season. Uh, he got hurt up against the Broncos and had season-ending surgery. I don't trust this Charger team without what pretty much is the heart and soul of their team. Give me Vegas to get the win. Also, what is up with all the QB injuries this year? Why do we have so many quarterbacks getting hurt? Like, why? Does anyone else see that as kind of weird? Um, But yeah, I got Raiders taking this one. As for Sam, he actually did this once earlier in the year. Now he is doing it again. He's not picking either team. He's actually picking a tie. So yeah, I think he did this for Denver and for the Bears and the Broncos one week. So now he's doing it again for this one. Um, Yeah, I mean, the probability of them tying is very low. So I've never picked a tie before. Next, we have the Vikings going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Bengals, part of a Saturday triple header, which will obviously take place on Saturday. But first one of the year, this is kind of interesting to have Saturday games for the NFL. Very odd, especially we got a lot of bowl games. There's a lot going on this Saturday. But we start with this triple header of the Vikings taking on the Bengals. I don't trust this Minnesota Viking team for 1 second, especially on the road. Um, Jake Browning. I don't know if it's Jack or Jake. I think it's Jake. But Browning has been very sharp so far for Cincinnati. He's playing very well. And with that being the case, I got the Bengals taking this one over the Minnesota Vikings. Honestly, I don't have any faith in Minnesota right now. They can't figure out who their starting quarterback is. They actually have now benched Josh Dobbs, the pastronaut, and have gone now to, I believe it was Nick Mullins. He is going to be the starter for this game, and Justin Jefferson is possibly going to be out for this game as well. So a lot of so injuries and bad QB play. I'm not gonna doesn't bode well for Minnesota. I got the Bengals taking it and placing themselves right in the middle of the AFC wildcard race. Next, we have the Steelers and the Colts. I don't have much faith in a Steeler-led Mitch Trubisky team. I don't know if Kenny Pickett's going to be back, but I can't trust a Pittsburgh Steelers team that has lost two straight games to two straight 3-1 teams, being the Cardinals and the Patriots, both at home. I mean that's a whole nother level of just bad, and yeah, it's bad. Like that's like I said, that's a whole nother level of brutal just brutal. Like you can't lose games like that. Oh yes, and I did say I was going to make the picks for Sam. I forgot for those two. He has like me. He has the Bengals and he has the Colts. He has picked both of those teams to win. Since I'm over here, I'll just stick with him. We have, of course, our very own Detroit Lions at home, taking on the Denver Broncos. Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I want to do Sam's pick first. Sam has got the Lions. He went with the hometown team. He's taken Detroit to get the win at home, defend home field, win at Ford Field, and was the Saturday night primetime game actually. As for me, I this Lion team has too many problems. I hope I'm wrong on this, and I really hope that we do end up beating Denver. But the problem with the Broncos is they're kind of similar to the Bears. Wilson isn't nearly as good of a runner, I'd say, as Justin Fields. At least he isn't anymore. I think he's kind of gotten too old for that. But the Lions have three significant problems right now, and that is the defensive coordinator. Aaron Glenn needs to go. That guy needs to be fired, and no questions asked, no excuses. He needs to be gone. Um, Jared Goff has got to start playing better. He needs to be able to handle pressure better, especially since we have like half our offensive line out. And we have to actually come out and play our best to start games. We keep coming out flat, and that's not going to fly, especially against teams like Denver. And then you think, oh, it kind of will get easier. No, we have the Vikings still twice, and then Dallas. Those are, sure, those are winnable games, but you got to bring out your best for those. They're not going to just let you walk all over them, especially obviously Dallas. And as for the Vikings, that's a divisional opponent. Those are important games for the division. Um, it's the Lions need to pick it up. They have to come out. They need to start coming out playing their best. They gotta stop coming out flat. Um, like I said, I hope I'm wrong with this, but they have not looked good. I can't trust this Lion team right now as they continue to just come out and not look special. I mean, we got embarrassed by the Chicago Bears, who have been sure playing better lately, but that's still not a game that if you're a really good team, you should be losing. And now we have Denver coming to town, who's been playing very well. I don't like the odds, so I got Denver. Next, we have the Chicago Bears going on the road to take on the Cleveland Browns. As I said earlier, the Bears are starting to look better, but this Browns team is still the better team. And I like the Browns to take this one, get the win at home. That is the same pick for Sam. He has the Browns as well, beating the Bears at home. Next, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going on the road to take on the Green Bay Packers. Sam has Green Bay. He's got the Pack winning and taking the dub at Lambeau. I do not. I have Tampa in this one. Uh, Green Bay nearly got away with poor play last week because the Giants kept shooting themselves in the foot, kept turning it over, bad mistakes. This Tampa team, they limit mistakes. They turn it over at the fifth lowest rate. Actually, I think it's the Bucks. They turn it over. They've turned it over the third least times in the NFL. So, long story short, Tampa's not going to shoot itself in the foot. They're not going to make stupid mistakes. They're going to be able to hold on to the football. This is a team that the offense is okay and their defense is very tough. I don't like Green Bay's odds for this. Now, could Green Bay just end up winning anyway? Sure, because they have been very good at home ever since earlier in the year. Their last loss was like, yeah, probably like late September, early October is whenever they played the Vikings. That was their last home loss. They have not lost at home since, so they have been very good. But they also have not played an opponent such as Tampa Bay at home. So I like Tampa Bay in this one. Next, we have the Houston Texans taking on the Tennessee Titans. In normal circumstances, I would take the Houston Texans, but their entire team is practically injured right now. Stroud has a concussion, Nico Collins is out, Tank Dell's gone, a couple defensive starters are gone, Dalton Schultz is out. I mean, it at some point that the injuries mount up a little too much. At some point, you've taken too many hits, you've taken too many injuries. The Texans have taken too many injuries. It's going to be very tough for them to get this one. I think the Titans get a big win after shocking the Dolphins last week. Um, and then for for Sam, he has the Houston Texans taking the win over the Tennessee Titans. He is sticking with the Texans after the disappointing loss also last week to the New York Jets, of which we will talk about next. We'll be taking on the Miami Dolphins. For Sam, I believe he has Miami. And yes, he does. He has the Dolphins bouncing back after the tough Tennessee Titan loss on Monday night and beating the New York Jets. I also have the Miami Dolphins winning this one. Last week they had quite a few injuries actually. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, both actually. I mean, the thing was guys got hurt. They all came back, but whether or not they're actually 100% is debatable. I mean, Mostert went down at one point. Well, Mostert was limping around at one point. Waddle went down at one point. Tyreek Hill went down at another point. Obviously, that's the bigger problem. Uh, and once again, when so many injuries take place in a game and you're missing guys or they're not at 100%, it makes it kind of tough. And they're also missing several guys on their offensive line. So there's a lot of injuries. Really took a toll on Miami in that game, but the Jets' offense is not good. If enough guy, I think Miami still will be able to pull through in this one. They get the dub at home against the Jets. Kansas City Chiefs on the road against the New England Patriots. Guys, I know the Chiefs. Look, the Chiefs have not been as sharp this year as they are not as dominant as they have been in previous seasons, obviously. But this is the New England Patriots we're talking about. Um, that just they're a bad team, and there's not really any other way of slicing it. They just suck. So I got Chiefs, and Sam also has Chiefs. So I'd assume probably Serbinsky does too once he sends his in, but I'd have to think we all are picking Kansas City. Next, we have the New York Giants going on the road to take on the New Orleans Saints. As for Sam, he has the G-Men, the New York Football Giants, getting the win on the road in New Orleans and getting the win at the Caesars Superdome. That's not the case for me. I have New Orleans Saints. Look, this Saints team is very good defensively, and look, the Tommy DeVito story is awesome. You know, it's a cool story. It's cool to see him, you know, uh, doing something that probably that nobody would have expected him to. And really, the thing is that the Giants can't keep turning it over. If they do what they do, or if they do what they did against Green Bay, they're not beating New Orleans. This Saints team is a very good defensive team, and they will force you into turnovers. This Saints defense is very good. While the offense isn't really that sharp, you do have still Chris Olave and Alvin Kamara to count upon. So, I like the same team to win this one. The Giants are playing a little better, but they're not a good team. I think the Saints are a little better. Now we have the Atlanta Falcons against the Carolina Panthers. I don't think I really have to explain why. Probably all of us are taking the Atlanta Falcons. Um, and that is also the pick for Sam. He is taking Atlanta, but yeah, I don't think I need to explain this one. Next, we have the Washington Commanders going on the road to take on the LA Rams. S- Uh, Sam's pick, and two S's. I don't know why I was blanking out there. But Sam is taking the LA Rams in this one, and so am I. Honestly, it's funny when you look at this LA Ram team. I honestly, they spell, uh, Detroit Lions 2.0. If you remember if you're a Lions fan, if you remember the old Detroit Lion teams with Matt Stafford as the quarterback, if you remember those days, you would remember that pretty much Stafford had to carry the Lions through every single win that they had. And honestly, this LA Ram team is more or less the same. I mean, the defense is not really that special. The offense has a really good receiver with Cooper Cup, and I guess maybe the Nakua guy now. Not that I know anything about him. Then you got the random running back and Kyron Williams, who's playing decently, who's been playing pretty well this year. They spell to me Lions 2.0, which is absolutely hilarious. But I got the Rams winning this one. I think they're better than Washington, and Washington has zero interest in winning anything right now, winning any games right now. So I got Rams. Niners and Cardinals. Kyler Murray's been playing pretty well since coming back from the torn ACL, but this is the Niners this is the San Fran 49ers we're talking about. Arizona does not have the firepower to take down San Francisco. I don't know if it'll be a bloodbath necessarily, but it's not going to be really much of a contest. I'm taking San Fran to get the win at Arizona and win pretty comfortably. I mean, that's probably more accurate. They're not. I don't know if they're going to blow them out, but it'll be a comfortable win for San Fran. That's also the pick for Sam. Next, we have the Dallas Cowboys. Here's a huge game. The Dallas Cowboys going on the road to take on the Buffalo Bills. Enormous game for both of these teams, with Dallas trying to hold on to the division lead with the Philly Eagles now with the same record, just getting the win over them last Sunday night, which was huge for Dallas. And as for the Buffalo Bills, they got the win over the Kansas City. They're coming off a huge win themselves, actually, getting the win over the Kansas City Chiefs, and looking to ride maybe a hot streak here, going to go back home and take down Dallas. For Serbensky, he does, or Serbensky, for Sam, he does have the Bills getting the win over the Dallas Cowboys, and I do too, honestly. Um, I got Bills winning this one. Dallas has not played well away from home, and this is a very good Dallas Cowboy team. I know this is a team that has typically just disappeared in big games like this, which is why many people don't really ever believe in Dallas because every time there's a big game or something, they get absolutely smoked. Just like when they played the Niners, they they got tanked in that game. And they have a strange loss to Arizona too, but I don't know how I don't know how that happened. But I think really ever since the early portions of the season, we have seen a brand new Dallas team. Ever since that Niners loss, that Cardinals loss, this team has looked different. And every single week they just seemingly keep getting better and better. And I don't think that's really changing right now. They keep looking better. But the problem is, like I said, Dallas does not look sharp when they're not playing at home. And look, Bills Mafia is going to be going insane for that game. And really, the Bills' playoff hopes are, on the line pretty much the rest of the year. Every game's almost borderline say an elimination game. So I got Bills winning this one. They looked pretty darn good against the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think with a home game, they have the edge against Dallas. This should be a very entertaining game. Should be a lot of fun, but I think Bills get it done and they knock off Dallas. What is it going to be another just absolutely monumental win for them? Next, we have Sunday Night Football. The Baltimore Ravens going on the road to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags have taken two straight losses now. They took an L against the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday night, of which they ended up losing Trevor Lawrence due to an injury in that game. I think they, oh, I don't know, I think Christian Kirk got hurt in that game, or was it the next game? But the Jags, then they took on the Browns, and that didn't go too well either. This is a good Jacksonville team. These Jags are pretty tough, and they're a pretty solid team. But this Baltimore Raven team, when they're at their best, I really don't know if there's anyone that can beat them. I mean, these Ravens are nasty good. Now, I have seen several times of which the Baltimore Ravens don't really show up for a game. They kind of just disappear, kind of like the Rams game last week. Many people figured they'd win that pretty comfortably. They nearly lost that game. So, assuming that the Ravens bring their best and they play their absolute best here in Duval against the Jags, I think they knock off Jacksonville and they hand the Jags their third straight L, which would be a very tough pill to swallow if you're a Jaguar fan. Um, as for Sam, he also has the Baltimore Ravens getting the win on the road, knocking off the Jacksonville Jaguars, and pushing themselves and keeping their number one seed in the AFC. Next we have a Monday night football game, which actually was not the Monday night game before, but it actually got switched to this. The Philadelphia Eagles heading on the road to take on the Seattle Seahawks. The Monday night game before this one was actually the Chiefs and the Patriots, but obviously because that game completely fell off the rails, um, yeah, they put in this one instead as it's a much better game. Sam's got the Eagles getting the win over the Seattle Seahawks. As for me, now you can consider this biased, but I got Seattle. Now I kind of said now I didn't really say this about the Bills, but I will about Seattle. Both of these teams really are in desperation mode. As for the Bills and the Seahawks, their playoff chances are their playoff hopes, I should say, are on the line. I mean, whether or not they make the playoffs, it all depends on how they do down the stretch here. And if they don't win, they could find themselves outside the playoff picture. Philadelphia's defense, their secondary has been absolutely gashed by Dallas, got gashed by the Bills, got gashed by San Fran. Their secondary is getting just absolutely decimated right now. In Seattle, they're not necessarily, I'd say, a team that really throws the ball too much downfield, but they have the offense to get it done. They have the receiving options with Tyler Lockett, with Jackson Smith and Jigba, with DK Metcalf. Obviously Geno Smith's um, uh, status is up in the air. We don't really know whether or not he's going to play yet. But even with that, I mean, the Seahawks were competitive with the Niners with Drew Lock. So if they can be competitive with Drew Lock, I think they can be competitive with the Philadelphia Eagles. But this is a home game for Seattle. As I said, their playoff hopes are more or less on the line right now. I think this is a game that Seattle, they come out, they play their absolute hearts out, and they get the best of the Eagles. It's going to be a very fun game, but I got Seattle taking the dub. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There's a lot of stuff coming out right now, so just be ready for all that. I'm going to have all the college football bowl game stuff coming out very soon, which is quite a lot. So just be ready for that. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you hopefully next week. I still got other videos I need to get through. I haven't done college basketball rankings in a while, and that is something I need to get back to again. But that's it for this one, and until next time, adios, everyone.